So, these are awesome facts about your bearded dragons and stuff like that, and like how to own one and things like that. All right. The first thing is that I bet you didn't know this. It's amazing. These things are so lucky. They have a sensor on top of their head. Only some animals have that. They're really, the sensors, they actually detect shadows and other things like that. So let's say my bearded dragon is down on the ground. There's this hawk flying above him, and he senses the shadow of the hawk on his sensor, right, like in the middle of his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows to get out of there because that thing is probably is a predator. So he knows to get out of there. Now the second thing is that bearded dragons, how big do they get? They actually get about, the biggest ever could be like 2 feet, which is like, I'd say this big. So mine is just not that long. He's like I'd say about 10.5 inches long, because I've measured him before. And he is a normal bearded dragon. And normal bearded dragons, they're a lot like darker. A lot darker, I'd say. And some bearded dragons change color almost like a lot. Change color a lot.
Well, I think he wants to go back in his cage.
Yeah, I'll put him back.
Here.
So they change color a lot. So bearded dragons, some bearded dragons change color a lot. All bearded dragons do this, but some bearded dragons change color a lot. He actually does this. So some bearded dragons change color a lot, and he changes color a bit, not too much, but a good, not like a lot, but I'd say a good amount of it. And then the other thing, bearded dragons, to tell if they're boys or girls, the boys, this is really cool. The boys actually have 2 bumps, like their butt cheeks. Like their butt cheeks. Right below their tail, right where that crack is, where they poop and pee. Right where that crack is where you can tell. So the boys will have 2 little bumps right here, and the girls won't. The other thing I know is, if you want to tell, go to a dark spot, lift up their tail and shine a flashlight through it, and you see like a pattern in their tail. The boys will have a different pattern than the girls. And if you're owning one and you want to know what they eat, here's a really good tip. The adults eat a lot more vegetables than the smaller ones. Like mine, he is just starting to eat a lot more vegetables. He's just starting to eat a lot more vegetables, and we're starting to give him more. You actually eventually use a food bowl and salad. Now water, well, first of all, they actually eat crickets, mealworms, and like locusts and stuff, and Dubian roaches and things like that. They actually, the water is, they drink sink water. Mine drinks sink water.
Charlie, it doesn't have to be a super long video.
They're not like amphibians, because amphibians, they need clean spring water. And reptiles, on the other hand, don't need they're not as much as hard with like chemicals and things like that. Like amphibians, if you touch them, you can get them sick because of let's say you have soap on your hands. If you touch them with soap on your hands, you can get them sick. But this video is not about amphibians. We'll probably have another one. But if you touch them, they can get sick like that. So the water is pretty easy with dragons. And then the temperatures. So the temperature, it's a little hard. The temperature, you need a lot of to be very, very, I don't know, what's the word? Very, 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 like, exactly this temperature, exactly that temperature. Now, actually, I'm a little bit wrong about that. No, you don't need to be that, but you need, so, on one side, you have a UVB light. Don't forget that. UVB. I always forgot that. I always thought it was UV. Oh, I shouldn't say that. You're going to think it's UV. So, yeah, UVB. A UVB light. And then the other light is just a basking light, a really warm light on the other side. Completely other side. And bearded dragons, they actually, if we're getting into how fragile they are. So a lot of bearded dragons, the babies are really, really, really fragile. Do not hold them that much. I wish I knew that when I got them, mine. Do not hold them that much at all. Maybe don't even hold them for the first day at all. And then on the second day, like, hold them in their cage, like, a little bit. And then for that first week, just take it real easy and calm. Bearded dragons, the temperature, no, we're not talking about the temperature, are we? No, we're not. I forgot about that. But, so, what was I talking about? Please subscribe. Please like. But I don't know what to talk about. So yeah, let's just go back to the temperature. So the temperature, let's say there's one and then the other. There's one UVB light on this side. There's one basking light on this side. And the basking light needs to be around, when they're smaller, 80 maybe. Once they get bigger, I'd say like 95 or something, like desert temperature. And then other side needs to be a lot cooler. Other side, I'd say about 70 maybe. Like, so about 70 to like 75 or something like that. And the handleability is, they actually like almost being handled. I've heard of a bearded dragon on a different video that I watched, slept with outside of its cage, literally outside of its cage, wrapped up in a blanket with its owner. It, like, the whole night. And I was shocked about that. But, so yeah. The handleability, they really like having it being a little bit outside of the cage. So once they get used to you, start taking them out. They love to be taken out sometimes. But other times, do not take them out. Sometimes, definitely take them out. And then, handleability, they are not too fragile, actually. So let's say you'd give them to a 4-year-old. They'd probably be fine, unless the 4-year-old was like really rough.
Charlie, that video is going to be too long for YouTube if you go much longer.
They can be great pets. Great pets. Absolutely great pets. Or, if you know nothing about reptiles, I wouldn't get one. But still like and subscribe. Bye.